Welcome to the Chromaniacs, your weekly look inside San Diego FC and MLS. I'm Craig Elston, joined by my Chromaniacs, Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena for episode number 21, rolling to leg 2, round 1 of the playoffs. What's going on, Tony?
Well, it's so crazy how far these teams have gone, and to see Portland once again and what it means to these players to see them once again and for a third and possibly last time in the regular season. We have some sound from training. Mikey Varas, CJ Dos Santos, Oni Valacari. It's hot in San Diego, so they're gonna need to, weather themselves for Portland cool down too. Alex.
Oh man, we got to talk about this team again. Can San Diego FC do us a favor and just win on Saturday?
Just win, baby.
That way we can move forward. It feels like the month started in a few weeks ago, and I was all excited, playoffs, and we're still talking about the same team for like 3-4 weeks later. So do us a favor, San Diego FC. Let's get the win on Saturday.
We could do it again next week. Don't forget.
I'm good.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Well, we're so happy to have you, all of you out there here along with us for the ride for episode number 21 of the Chromaniacs. Really appreciate the growth of the show. Thanks to everybody who's told somebody about the program. Thanks to everybody who's following us on Instagram at the Chromaniacs. Thanks to Terrible SDFC Memes, doing a great job carving up clips from our past post-match show. If you missed it, we were on live 10 o'clock on Sunday night after SDFC took care of business 2-1 against Portland. That show is right behind us on the feed, both in video and in audio. So if you missed it, that's where you're going to hear our most robust discussion of the match itself. We're not going to go back through the highlights on this episode. We're not going to go back through individual motions through that match. Our eyes are forward to leg 2 up at Providence Park in Portland on Saturday night. So that's where we're headed. We're very thankful for everyone who's there. If you're watching us on YouTube, where we're getting a good audience, you can hit that thumbs up button for us real quick. Really appreciate it. Get that ratio of viewers to likes even higher. Subscribe to SanDiego.Futbol while you're at it, please. 300 episodes deep on Two Balls and a Mic. FIFA approved.
They let us in. Yeah. They let us in somehow. And you know what? It's been a good reminder. It's been some good words heading my direction, our direction here. So appreciate all of that. And the cross-pollination is happening with Chromaniacs and Two Balls. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. And I really appreciate it. So subscribe. It's where you get the most recent and fastest SanDiego.Futbol, San Diego FC sound you can possibly get. Like, it's straight at the tap. Like, Mikey says it, and you're listening to it 20 minutes later. So,
yeah,
that notification bell.
How much did you have to contribute to FIFA's East Ballroom in order to get that approval?
It is I don't know if you've seen the projected outcomes, but man, it is a beautiful ballroom. FIFA can do no wrong until after the World Cup, I think is what I have to say.
Got it.
Unless otherwise, we know those violations that human rights, financial, sometimes the play in the rules.
Allegedly.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, be careful. Kimosabe. Everything's great about the World Cup.
Yep.
Don't you forget it.
Sponsored by, put something on it,
Yeah, it's where dreams come true. Yours, and then also there'll be football. All right, here's what's coming up on the show. We're going to talk about an extension for the captain of SDFC. We're going to talk about the MLS playoffs and where they stand. We're going to talk about SDFC and where their fans stand in relation to the other markets. We'll talk about the release of information, and it's a nice thing about MLS. The data release that maybe on this Halloween Eve, All Hallows Eve program will allow a ghost of SDFC past to finally be released from his chains of our concern. I think the math will do that. Alex will help a little bit on that, and then we'll get into match 2 preview. As you heard from Tony, we've got Training Ground Sound from Mikey, from Dos Santos, from Valakari. We've got some comments from Phil Neville. We'll talk about the match, and that will be episode 21 of Chromaniacs. Thanks to everybody who's there. Okay, Jeppe Tverskov is going to be here, and 2027 and 28 option. A very nice setup for San Diego FC. You know what I like about this extension, Alex, is that it's both a commitment to the club and the fans, and it's also not a commitment to the end of time. They didn't get a Seidler-esque here and just sign him up to a 10-year deal. It's a nice, solid, regular contract extension.
Yeah, no statute contract here. For the 32-year-old, right? But yes, this is great news. He was guaranteed a contract through next year. They extended him another year with another option for 2028. That's really good news. Salary wise, we'll probably find that out at the beginning of next season. But I would think it's a slight raise from his 700,000 that he makes right now. Will he dip into TAM? I would think so, just a little bit. But I made a comparison to Christian Roldan from the Seattle Sounders. He was also right up there with Tverskov as like one of the elite, central defensive midfielders of MLS, and he's making around 1.6 million for the Sounders. So I don't think it's going to jump up that high in terms of salary, but for Tverskov, this just makes sense for him and for the team. He's been a great leader. He's a great captain. Like everything he does, it seems like not only does he walk the walk, but talk the talk and walk the walk. He does all of it. He's been great. Leads the league in touches. Leads the league in passes attempted. He also leads the lead in interceptions. So both ways on the offense, on the attack, on the defense, he's been great. So it just makes sense for San Diego FC to have Jeppe Tverskov be here for a while. And also, I know that Pedro Soma is a bit of the understudy, right under Tverskov. He gets to learn from Tverskov for the next couple of years while Soma is here, which is great for him. If this is the type of player he wants to be, a player that's all around, good on the attack, good on the defense. He's got somebody that he can learn from, and someone that is willing to teach him too. So whether Soma, is the potential 6 in the next few years, or he could be the 8 right next to Jeppe Tverskov. I think this just it's a great deal. It just works for everybody here.
It's one of those players that made a name for himself, an all-star, right? In order to be named an all-star, like there has to be some level of popularity, some level of understanding of soccer. And overall, I think he might be the best overall player defensively, midfield. Like he just plays every third so well. If you want your money's worth and just watch this player, watch Jeppe. You can have a boatload of fun. In this last game, he did some great intercepting plays, and there was a play that he tried to dive, a bicycle kick, a pass that was going in transition, and he just missed it completely. But the way he just gives that extra effort, like that's somebody who is truly a captain and a leader. And this is right to dream. Like this is the perfect injection of DNA that the team needs. And I mean, Craig, who knew? You didn't know who Jeppe Tverskov was, a year ago. I mean, you might have known of him. Like, yeah, you signed a guy along with this other guy, but this guy's here to stay and is going to be the DNA of this team for years to come.
And as great as Anders Dreyer and Chucky Lozano have been, maybe from a cost to value ratio, Tverskov winds up on top because he just isn't making anywhere near the money of the designated players on this team. By not 10x less, but it's not a ton. It's a significant multiple less than guys like Chucky, guys like Dreyer. So for Tverskov to have not only done everything he's done and put up those stats, but now he gets to serve as that bridge for San Diego FC for the next couple of years, and hopefully be a face of the club. I've seen him in the Alaska Airlines ad, along with some of the other SDFC and Wave players. You get a couple opportunities along the way. As far as SDFC goes in their run, who knows? Yeppe might become a San Diegan for life and have to completely change his blood type as he goes from the cold temperate to soon he'll be going home going, it's just way too cold here. It's way too cold. But congratulations, Yeppe. Well done, well deserved, and a nice announcement during the break, because there's endless break. MLS playoffs are underway. One match is completed by everybody. Okay, where do we stand? We know where we stand. We need to get one win. Portland needs to get two. But what about everybody else? Guys, starting in the West, I know Vancouver took care of business easily, 3-0. You mentioned LAFC 2-1. They took care of things, and then it was penalties for Seattle and Minnesota. But Minnesota does get that win, which puts them in line to face us, although, as you said, Seattle has an opportunity to come from behind. I guess just really no surprises so far in the West.
No. What's interesting so far that pretty much all the home teams have won except for Charlotte. New York FC took care of business away. But yeah, it seems like everyone has done their job at home, and now it's on the flip side. Now those teams go on the road for Minnesota and Seattle Sounders. That's going to be an interesting matchup heading to Seattle. Seattle has only lost one time at home, and they're probably going to be greatly favored in this matchup. So that means if Seattle wins, they're going to go to a game 3, and I don't know what that means for us since there's a break right in between. I think if there was a game 3, guys would be tired, and we play the following week, and we're nice and refreshed and we're ready to go. That would mean something, but not when there's a international break right in the middle of this playoff format. So, but it still means that either it's going to be a coin flip pretty much for that Vancouver or not Vancouver, Minnesota and Seattle Sounders. It's going to come down to whoever wins in Minnesota. I believe. I think Seattle's going to win at home. They're going to go to a game 3, and then anybody's game in Minnesota.
One thing that I'm noticing is what it takes to win in playoffs here in MLS, right? You have some teams that are sticking to their guns. You have Minnesota, who eked out a almost result by playing almost completely opposite of what they were doing, showing some offense, and it's really showing that there's a layers of change and just to different ways of playing and play styles within the same team to adapt in that moment. Can SDFC do that, or does SDFC even need to do that? Because the consistency has been exactly where it needs to be for San Diego State this entire season, and that's part of their strength. And I think right now you're seeing Portland. They've tried to look 3 different ways in the 3 different matches that they've played so far and gotten 3 different results. San Diego FC is still going and just beating at that same drum. They split a point, they destroyed, and then they played a dominant 2-1 victory. So if they once again come back with that same attitude and same moxie about them, I think that's going to be their strength. But overall, it's fun. Like, this league is fun. Like, it's chaotic. If you peek at any other kind of game, just look at it. It's like, all right, what's happening over here? Oh, just absolute chaos. Like CONCACAF refs. All right. Thankfully, SanDiego.FC has kept it relatively pleasant in those terms. No need for a ref show so far.
Well, I'm just going to say this after one round, with all of the excitement of the Audi MLS Cup playoffs underway. I hate this format, and it's about to step on its scarf in the biggest possible way, because this is exciting. Matches almost every night and all of this drama, and it's going back and forth, and it's following the natural cadence of soccer right now, where you've had one match and then you're going to go to the other venue and you're going to have another match. But while it would be a very, very different show, I was thinking about this today while I was waiting for my son to get out of swim. Like, if it's, SDFC's going to Portland and they're up 2-1, hey, Portland did get that away goal. So all of a sudden, things are going to get pretty serious if Portland gets the first goal on Saturday night, and then you're going to be really thinking about it. Like, no, that's all out the window. It's another match. It's a match that'll go to penalties at 94 minutes. If that's how much extra time there is. And if they win, we go back to San Diego. And if not, we move on. But then this is why I hate it. It's not this. It's what's about to happen. If San Diego FC wins on Saturday, their blessing, their gift, is 3 weeks off before their next match, which is single elimination. And at this point, you almost want to play 3 games so that you just have, but you don't, but you do. You know what I'm saying? 3 weeks off is an absolute momentum killer. 2 weeks off between these exciting 3-match series, and then you go to single elim, and it's just going to be beep, bop, boop, and it's going to be all over for international friendlies. And then the next thing you know, you're rolling back in, and it's going to feel like a giant speed bump. San Diego, with first-year fans, they're going to get super confused. You'll be like, wait, I thought it was rolling. And if it was rolling the next week, it would be fine. And if it was 2 legs and it was rolling week after week, it would be so exciting and nerve-wracking intense. But they used to do that. They don't do that anymore. They went for this because money. They did this because money. And Tony, it just made me think about regrettable playoff formats in the league we both cover, the MASL, that's happened in various years, where you say, wait, why is it this way this year? Wait, why is it this way that year? And they've literally done this format before, a multi-match series in the first round, so everyone gets a home gate, and then single match the rest of the way, because we can't find those dates and it's getting too late to the end of the year, so we got to get this thing done. Everything is expediency. Nothing is what would be the best format. Anytime you make a format like that, it's guaranteed not to be good. Rant over.
And you make more money out of it. But at the bottom line is, exciting soccer begets excited fans, and is going to bring out sellout stadiums. But you kill that momentum, there's going to be people that are going to choose in 3 weeks, like, oh, I forgot to buy those playoff tickets. Oh, let me check. Oh, they're gone. Or maybe, maybe they're still pricey or whatnot. But look, this format they had it right the first year. The shootouts, beautiful, excellent. Go back to 30 years from that ago, MLS, and bring that format back if so you choose. But on top of that, you have this start, stop with international games, and then very, very, very quickly, it's going to be December 9th. And a little CONCACAF Champion Cup straw is also going to come in. And again, this is kind of looking forward after MLS. But speaking of the structure of this, these players don't really get a break. And that's where long term, we're talking about long term with Yepe and all and his age and Miles and how great he's been doing. Long term, this is not healthy for the players. And I just hope that the human performance team at San Diego FC Singing Hills is taking all that into consideration. They have the depth to be able to pull this off, to be able to be great in playoffs right now and move forward with the best soccer that they've played, and then just be able to be ready because it's going to happen. Everything's going to revamp immediately. But yeah, this MLS format needs to fix itself. Like it just doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. And this is coming from a Liga MX fan. Liga MX also doesn't make sense, guys. Trust me. It also doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you don't want to have a fall and a spring schedule. Yeah, that makes it honestly, it makes it confusing for me sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, this season just ended. Oh, it's starting back up again.
Yeah, no, but, 2 champions in 1 year? No. No.
It's a whole nother thing. But then I'm wondering what they're gonna do for next year with the World Cup right in the middle. And no one knows. Like there's no schedule leaks or anything. No one knows exactly where anyone's playing. No one knows. It's just
plow right through it, guys.
They're
go for it. It's an under 20 World Cup at this point with MLS.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. Season starts. We'll go up to June, maybe July, and then we'll stop for the whole summer, and then we pick it back up again in September. I don't know. I don't know if that's their deal, and then and then
warm-up matches all spring.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're gonna have friendlies in the summer with some other teams to get everybody else warmed up, and then
Portland, by the way.
Yeah, and hopefully like the playoff format, works out that it's much shorter. It ends by November or something before Thanksgiving, and everyone has a good 2 months off before the season starts up again, or hopefully 3 months off. But yeah, the whole structure of MLS it can be very questionable. But it's just something that everyone has to deal with. It's even worse for the teams that played in the the FIFA Club World Cup too. I mean, they had to get all their games at the very end, so it just and cap that off. So it's just a mess. It's a complete mess.
Look,
here in MLS.
Yeah, last thing I'm going to say, because I'm honestly going to move on, but Tony, you talked about player health, and it's just, this is the most pointless thing I can say. But the thing that bothers me is this is money before health. What they should have done is played one round, single elim every single round, and just said, oh, well, the first round's going to take 1 week. The second round's going to take 1 week. The third round's going to take 1 week. And we'd be one game left, MLS Cup. And even if there was an international break, that could also be like the break before the Super Bowl. It's an opportunity to build up to the MLS Cup for 2 weeks, and then you have MLS Cup. But instead, it's just taking so damn long. The season is taking so damn long, and it just makes for a worse product month over month. And in saying that, NWSL still has one more regular season match to play, so they're just insane. But okay, with that in the rearview mirror, we've got a lot of the numbers from the season coming out from MLS now, and let's start with something super exciting. SDFC finishes 4th in attendance for the season. I'm curious if they have numbers by capacity. Because some places are just bigger, like Atlanta, right? They're playing inside Mercedes-Benz.
Mhm.
Sounders, they're playing in an NFL stadium. Charlotte playing in an NFL stadium. So SDFC, which is not playing in an NFL stadium, but maybe a little bit bigger than some other places, they're kind of right where they need to be right there. And they're outdrawing Nashville. That's pretty impressive.
Well, look, It's impressive, but just I don't want to poo-poo on anybody's parade, but like San Diego FC plays in also a non-soccer specific stadium, but this is still impressive because look at the first year and where they're at. They are averaging 28,000 people to be able to commute, pay for parking, move people, tailgate, make it a day, make it a weekend, make it an event to go and spend their hard-earned money to watch some soccer in San Diego. That is incredible here in the city. That what's all the talk always been, oh well, what's going to happen when football leaves? We need football back. Well, football is here, and clearly the San Diegan people are responding, and they're up there for a reason. So congratulations to the team at San Diego FC for being able to pull this off, to get this retention in year one.
It's amazing, and it just shows that the supporters are coming out, from everywhere to pack Snapdragon Stadium, and yeah, everyone's doing their part. That's exactly what you want to see out of your first team, first year MLS squad. So, um, you know, good on the fans. Good on all the supporters that show up every single home match, and even the away matches too. They the supporters are doing their part. They're spending the money. They're spending money on concessions and merchandise and all that stuff. So this is exactly what we said on last time. San Diego is a soccer city, and we're showing it. We're showing it with our dollars and by showing up.
I've been asked for tickets the most I've ever been asked for anything, like, and it's been constant. I'm like, oh, same. Like, it's again these little things that matter. Being texted like, oh look, an SDFC playoff poster outside my work. Cool, great, that's awesome. Like little steps like that really make it feel good here and playoff town.
All right, in honor of Halloween and Halloween weekend, it's time for two questions to wrap up this part of the show before we move on to the match preview and the training ground sound. So, question number one: who is the spookiest team in the bracket? Who is the team you're most scared of for SDFC to face?
In the Western Conference, I think it's gonna be the team they're potentially gonna face next, either Minnesota or Seattle. I mean, that's gonna be a big uphill battle for San Diego, because they have trouble with those types of teams, and I think, yeah, if you can't get past those teams, if you can't really show that you can score, on a Minnesota or Seattle team, then you're not going to go far in the playoffs. Like, beyond this, like, you have to prove that you can defeat the low block, score some goals on a Minnesota team or a Seattle team, and put it away. Yeah, like, put it away in regulation, and not try to go to penalties, because I'm not so sure on our penalty takers and CJ Dos Santos, if we do get there. I got to see it first, but yeah, that's a little bit shaky. But yeah, get it done in regulation. So I say I'm still I'm still scared of Minnesota.
I look at Seattle. That was my pick before. I think last time we kind of talked a little bit about this. It was LAFC because they had got Sun Heung-min and they had something to prove, and they beat us here at home and ruined the party. But that Seattle team is a very well coached team. That's a team that knows what it's like to be in this position, and much like Portland too, in a way where they also know what it takes to win in Portland, and you never kind of dismiss them in playoffs, especially in a rainy sort of situation in Providence Park. But I think Seattle is that team that could potentially adapt and mold itself to the needs that they need to have on a one-off against San Diego FC. And Minnesota, I think they can overcome with the offense that they have. if Chucky comes out and he's that lightning in a bottle that you just unleash in the 65th minute against everybody, I think that's going to be successful for Mikey Varas. Look, LAFC has no chance against Austin. They're going to come back. And then Vancouver. Look, Vancouver they're getting so lucky with penalty calls. If you watch a Vancouver game, there's going to be a fan that sneezes in the audience in the stands, and Mueller's going to fall to the ground and get a penalty called, and then he's going to score. That's been Vancouver's secret sauce, is the penalties. But Seattle, I'm sticking with. That's a scary, well-coached team.
My answer is Minnesota because of Dane St. Clair. Period. He's already shown it, and he's the kind of guy that could just beat you in pens and make 3 great saves that kept an obvious Dreyer goal from going in. As we know, Dreyer needs to score. 14 wins when Dreyer scores, no losses, 1 draw. There won't be draws anymore. So, getting Dreyer a goal is important. St. Clair's the guy I'm scared of. So he is the reason. He is the Halloween jack-o'-lantern head on top of the spooky team. The loons, the scary loons. Okay. Now from spooky teams to a ghost. Maybe we can finally exorcise the ghost of the legend of Milan Olaski, the first ever legend of SDFC, because when he went, the question and the critique was that SDFC just shortchanged him, basically, that, couldn't come to terms, let him go. He winds up signing for a rival team. But Alex, MLS puts out the numbers. They've released all of the numbers. It's a nice thing for a league to do. And as a result, we know all the team accumulated money, the TAM, and Olaski got a lot of TAM. Looks like it was a contract SDFC could not have given him.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's targeted, allocated money.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Targeted, allocated. Oh, yeah.
It's all good. Yeah, I think the first thing when this list came out, and it's a simple search engine, you could just type in someone's name and you could see like, oh, how much they make. Iloski was the first player I went to go search, because I think we got to put this to bed. I think we got to finally let this rest. I think when I was talking to fans, I was talking to a lot of people about the subject months ago. It always came up like, what does Olaski want? Well, what I heard was maybe 3 times what he was making, maybe around 400,000, 450. He was originally making with SanDiego FC 150,000. That seemed fair for that, for the loan. That contract jumped into $552,000 that the Philadelphia Union gave him. But with some parameters, what you have to add in here is the $1 million transfer fee that from FC Northland. That gets tacked on even if you divide it by the number of years he's going to be here, and he's going to be here till 2027. So 3 seasons. You divide that up, and he's making around 880,000. That would be his TAM number. Now each team gets around $2.2 million in TAM. That's their budget, and that TAM number cannot be changed. You can't trade for TAM. TAM can be given to you. That's a fixed number. So with us, with SanDiego FC, we've already used a lot of our TAM. A lot of it has gone to Luca Della Torre, who makes 1.6 million. His TAM number would be around 900K for the overage. And when I talk about overage, it's the salary cap number that most people make. It's around 734,000, and anything over that, it gets calculated into TAM. So we're talking Luca Della Torre, Marcus and Bartson, which his TAM number is around 996. Patty McNair, a very modest 19,000. Andres Reyes, which he hasn't been around, but
Talk
he
about
takes
ghost.
up. Yeah, that's talk about a ghost. He's a ghost. He makes 63,000 in TAM, and then
I just
on
heard something bump in the night. Was that
was that Andres Reyes?
you'll be visited by a defender at midnight?
Oh man! And then to round out the list, Ani Velikari, he had a loan fee associated with his transaction, so that's around 226K. And then Corey Baird is also a TAM player, but the thing with Corey Baird, the majority of his salary, and it was confirmed with Tom Bogert. He posted something on Blue Sky that Amal Pellegrino and Corey Baird, the majority of their contracts are being paid by their former clubs. So his TAM numbers around, he had an overage because when you get traded within the league, you get a little, a little salary boost, like a little trade, money that gets bumped up to you. So he only covers around $500, 500, not 500K, $500. So in total, we're talking about 2.204 million out of the 2.225 that San Diego could use, and that's it. That's the whole budget right there. So could San Diego FC afford Milan Lasky under those parameters? The answer is no. Like there just wasn't any room in the cap to fit him. Like this is the only way to do it if you're trying to add his salary plus whatever transfer fee was going to be associated with, and the money just didn't add up for San Diego FC. It just we don't know what kind of sweetheart deal that Northland was going to give, San Diego FC for Milan Lasky. Maybe they stuck to $1 million for this player. We don't know. But that was all the TAM they could use. Philadelphia Union, they had enough TAM. They had enough TAM to add Milan Lasky, but with playing with a salary cap and playing with these numbers, TAM goes down every year. So in 2026, TAM is going to go down to $2.1 million. So just like $100,000 less than this year. And because of that, there's going to be less room for players on the TAM roster, right? It's already been reported that Ty Baribo, one of their forwards, is going to be leaving in free agency, or maybe they make him a DP, but it's very unlikely because Philadelphia Union is one of those teams that doesn't pay their players. They're one of the lowest on the payroll bracket. And so Baribo is most likely going to be leaving. Milan Lasky comes in, and he pretty much is the replacement for Baribo. Unlike us, we have Marcus and Martin. So it's not like he's leaving soon. And
It's not
and
like he was ever
also,
here to begin with.
yeah, and then also it's also been rumored that Luca De La Torre, they want Luca to come back,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be way below the 1.6 he's making now. So just because of TAM and everything they're doing, plus Yepe's extension, he's probably going to use some TAM money. So it's got to fit the budget. It's got to fit this little structure that you got to work with. And people may look at the GAM money. GAM has nothing to do with this. GAM is a whole nother funny money that you use. Yeah, like GAM is used like for like Andres Dreyer or Luca
Yeah.
or not, Chucky Lozano. They have a salary cap number. They reach the max, and then the rest of that money is paid by the ownership and the team. That's aside from the the salary cap because they're designated players. And then the rest of their money can be brought from their salary cap number, can be brought down to 150,000 if they choose to. And that's how you use GAM. That's how you use GAM. But
How does this league exist?
yeah, it's weird,
How do they
man.
make money? How do they? I know Messi just said like
How
the
does
salary
Messi
thing.
make money?
Look,
does Messi make money?
he sells jerseys, man. Chucky Lozano was 3rd overall. That's another cool stat that was over 4th overall, I believe, in MLS in jersey sales. So congrats, Chucky.
Yeah.
This strangely all made sense, but it also tracks from what we've heard from our sources that Tyler tried. Tyler Heaps tried.
He tried.
He tried to keep Milan, but literally that makes sense. It almost makes more sense explaining Gam and Tam when you're kind of attaching the players and the situations now. Instead of just like, well, there's this imaginary thing. Like, no, there's players attached to these transactions now. But look, overall, I think Corey Baird and Pellegrino not paying for their salary is great, especially with what now has become the playoff lineup for Mikey Varas, and it's paid off, especially with Pellegrino. This last couple of games against Portland. He doesn't like Portland. Good.
Thank you for coming to our TAM talk. Teacher, I have a question on behalf of the back of the class. I only had one question at the end of the presentation. What?
Yeah.
Do we need to come up with a little song, like a memory song? You can trade for Gam, but you can't trade for Tam.
Yeah, exactly.
Gam is a lady you can bring to the dance, but Tam will only stay. But Tam goes down what is this, a board game?
Yeah,
what is this stupid deal? Everything
it's definitely
goes up.
Yeah, it's definitely Monopoly money that you're playing with.
What?
Oh, no. They introduced Monopoly money. Let's not forget, this year you can now purchase and buy players outright with cash outside of Gam and Tam. So no, Monopoly money has already.
That's Yam. What's Yam?
The Yam.
Yam is the power that be. I don't know. I don't know.
And by the way,
cool.
out of the $3.4 million in GAM that they have remaining, about 400,000 of that is already used up for 2026 due to prior deals of McVay, Reyes, Sadi, Bayard, and Vasquez.
Is Reyes our Hosmer?
Yeah.
Are we going to
definitely our
celebrate a
Hosmer.
day down the line? Reyes is he starting
He's
a
finally free.
podcast?
Yeah.
Is he starting a rival podcast?
Man.
Has he been qualified
Oh, man.
for FIFA? The questions I have, and then his Ingvartsen are Bogarts. I mean, I feel like he's sorry, we can't do things. We've just got we've got this guy that's going to play 105 minutes.
Yeah, that's why
show up in 105 training photos.
Yeah, that's why you traded your top prospects because Xander Bogaerts is here. You got to let him play the next 5 years. Yeah,
Be a leader. Yeah.
Marcus, I'm still hoping to see you, buddy. I'm still hoping to see you make a major contribution to this playoff run. It would be super keen not to just be an 88th minute sub or 82nd minute or whenever it is along the way. Okay. So thank you. Olaski, you're free. You're free. We don't need to talk about you anymore. I promise not to talk about you anymore. Unless we come back and see you in the MLS Cup. Okay. Let's move on to the matter at hand. It's match 2. It's Portland's life. It is not SDFC's life. What level can Mikey Varas bring his club out at Saturday night at Providence Park? Can he get those guys to come out and play as if their life's on the line? Because that's what Portland's going to do. Presumably, we don't cover the Timbers. I don't know if they're checked out. I don't know if the leg one result leaves them thinking to themselves, you know what, let's just get out of here. We're not going to win MLS Cup. We're not. Do we really want to push and have another week in the rain training? Let's, Cancun awaits. That could be, but no matter what, gentlemen, they have to come out anticipating and trying to match or surpass Portland's level. And you have to assume that level is fighting for your life.
Yeah, and it really does seem like they're going to try to play the type of style they did a couple weeks ago in Portland, where they try to give you a high press. They try to, get the ball and be on the, front foot, but it just didn't work. And the one thing that's good for us, good for San Diego FC, um, these guys played pretty well in the rain, and I think it has to do with Jeppe Verskov, Anders Dreyer, Ani Valakari. They know this condition before. Like they play well in the rain. They probably seen it a lot in Denmark or Belgium or anywhere else they played. And guess what? It's gonna rain again. It's gonna be 80% 80% chance of rain on Saturday.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Of course, it's Portland. It's the Pacific Northwest, and yeah, I think it's gonna work to our advantage a little bit. I think these are senior players, and they're gonna play well. I mean, they love the slop, so hopefully they keep going, keep playing well, and we finally completed our 2025 talk of the Portland Timbers.
Yeah, this team, San Diego FC, has only one loss that they can afford to have for the rest of the season, and it's this next game.
Correct.
And I don't think Mikey Varas has even factored that into his team's mental, mental exercises that they're doing. Their just preparedness for this match. And this is a game that, sure, you can consider as a mulligan. You can always strike it and have another chance to be here at home. But this team is ready to go ahead and move past Portland as well. These conditions do lend themselves more to the play style that San Diego FC has showcased this entire time. And it's that fast-paced pass move, counterattack when we need to, bait you in, just play possum a little bit, and then counterattack with lightning quickness. That's what they did. And Mikey Varas believes, too, that the best that they've been this year with that play style was that game in Portland that was 4-0 because of those weather conditions also helping that. So we talk about weather sometimes, and it's like, well, you just have to get the job done. Or these players know what it's like to play in scorching heat and in the cold, rainy conditions and transition. Like, yes, but there are different things where, hey, a player just likes it when they get to wear the long sleeve underneath their jersey. Like little things like that. Sometimes soccer players are finicky like that as well. But it's a time where they do have most fun. The one area and the one player that can potentially have a little bit of trouble is always the goalkeeper, because the ball's wet, it's slicker. And actually CJ Dos Santos does just address it a little bit in terms of what that means. But ultimately, this is primed to be a great game for San Diego FC if they stick to their play style and stick to what's been successful against Portland. The worst they've done against Portland is tie, and if you go to a tie, then I guess we find out what penalties mean for San Diego FC, and even then, they should still be able to win.
Well, let's hear from head coach Mikey Varas, as well as goalkeeper CJ Dos Santos and midfielder Oni Valakari, as we head to this week's edition of Training Ground Sound, as collected by Tony out at Singing Hills, Right to Dream Academy, Jace, and of course the official headquarters of your beloved San Diego FC. Let's start things off with the head coach, Mikey Varas, on Training Ground Sound.
Through the preparation for now your third game against Portland in a row, but this one could potentially be the final one of the season as you can potentially move forward. What has the training been like for the team this week?
Yeah, the focus is just on staying consistent. The way you stay consistent is make sure your preparation is at a high level. It's still this whatever it takes mentality. So every guy doing his part, whether they play, whether they don't play, whether they're rostered, whether they're not rostered. And the guys, this is like 11 months of work to create that culture that they've totally bought into, and we'll be ready to go.
And can you talk me through what it's been like over the right back position, just having Pilcher step in, as you've mentioned all year, next man up, but what it's been like and what the message is to Dreyer to be able to help that position as well?
Yeah, I think he stepped in admirably. He did a very good game. And again, that's 11 months worth of work in terms of training everybody in the team, always mixing things up, making sure the training environment was competitive. And we've talked about making the squad bigger, so that was giving guys opportunities, but it was also selecting guys in the roster who could play multiple positions. And you can see that not only is Ian benefiting from that right now, but we are as a team.
You mentioned last that Lozano was trending positively towards being back in the lineup. Has there been a conclusion to that? Has he been able to maintain that same positivity?
Yeah, I said that he would be back with the squad. And so, yeah, he'll be, based on everything that we've seen, he'll be traveling to Portland, and will be coming off the bench for us.
Well, question answered there that we don't have to waste time speculating, and it only makes sense. Last week we talked about it and said the most logical outcome would be to start Pellegrino and to sub in Lozano. At that time, I was worried about game one over excitement. Now it's the opposite. It's game two away. You need to bring the energy. So Lozano is a bottle rocket off of the bench. Shout out to Bottle Rocket, gone but not forgotten. He is an opportunity to inject life into the match in the second half. And for Pellegrino, he deserves nothing less than the opportunity to continue to start and build momentum with this club. And if he does well and SDFC wins, he should start the next match too. And Lozano should come off the bench again. This is just where we are now with San Diego FC and with these players.
Yeah, it seems like it's the right move to kind of acclimate Lozano back into the team and work him from, out from the bench. And, good on Mikey for, sticking to his guns. And, if San Diego is in complete control of this match early on and they're up, let's just say 3-0, and they don't really need Chucky, do I really need to see him out there on on a wet Saturday night? I don't know if I do, but does it hurt the team if he plays, a couple minutes here and there? I don't know. It doesn't really mean much to me, but maybe it does mean something to him to be out there on a wet Saturday night, play 10 minutes. So, I would save that energy maybe for the next match, or, you know, if they need him late in the match, it's great to have him. It's great to have him off the bench.
What a wild card to have, right? Like if the style doesn't work, if what you have been playing this entire season and you in a way put him on the shelf for not following the rules, not following the style, but now he understands that, well, you need to fall in line with this, and this, but you can still be creative in other outlets and still be disruptive. I think my Lozano can benefit from coming back and just in general, just being part of the squad because it was something that did affect not just Lozano, but just the overall locker room. This is a locker room that is very, very tight from the beginning, and they are thriving on that chemistry that they've built in. And even in moments throughout the season, this season, and with other players, like there's been moments where they weren't being as team playery as they could have, and that was felt, and it was adjusted, and it's been internal, and there's been a couple of internal situations as well. But at the end of the day, they've been able to manage and come back and bounce back. It looks like Lozano has done the right things. Pellegrino has certainly earned his start, has certainly earned his keep, and deserves that start once again. But if you can kind of see what this wild card Joker +4 of a Chucky Lozano can do, go for it. Like this is an incredible substitute to have.
I think regardless of game status, unless the pitch is so stupidly wet that it's a true player safety issue, at which point nobody should be playing, Chucky has to play in the match, because if he doesn't, and you say, oh, we're up 3-0, oh, it's a wet pitch, that'll mean the next time he does take the pitch for San Diego, it'll be in the second half of an elimination match, and it'll be 6 weeks in between appearances for club. So that's too long. This 3-week break, if you win Saturday, is insane. 3 weeks to murder your momentum as a club. But for a guy who hasn't played for 3 weeks, if you keep him out and then it's another 3 weeks, then at that point, you're just getting to the point where I don't know what you're going to get from him at all in the playoffs. I need, even if it's 20 minutes, I need some Chucky time on Saturday night. And I just hope it's not pouring, where it becomes regrettable, because I think for the MLS Cup futures of SDFC, I think they need Chucky on the pitch. Let's hear from CJ Dos Santos. I hope we don't have to hear from him on Saturday night.
You'll see him start getting a standing ovation applause. That's CEO Tom Penn off camera. So that's how this starts here.
There's always need for applause.
CJ, could you go ahead and take us through this now, San Diego FC's first ever playoff, and what it's been like to really now see a team 3 times in a row, and just that consistency that you need in the back line?
Yeah, of course. It's an absolute blessing to be here in this situation. To be where we are, where we started back in preseason, to make it all the way until we are now. We've done nothing but amazing things so far, and like you said, 3 games in a row. Third game in a row in this series of a few weeks. It's going to bring out a couple more problems than we've seen generally during the regular season, of course, making these 3 games in a row. But overall, the consistency is the same. Training's the same, and we're going to go after it like any other game.
And talking about that back line, because again, you've had that back line change throughout the year, but the consistency of Manodua being able to also have that ball and take a couple dribbles in your box, what is that like now in the playoff situation where the stakes are higher?
We've had so many guys that have taken a lot of steps forward, Manu being one of them, from where he started and where he's now at this point in the season. I'm so proud of him and so proud of the steps that he's taken. And we've had so many guys take steps up. There were injuries, suspensions, international breaks, whatever it may be. So many guys have taken that step up, and they've done amazing with it.
When was the last time you played somebody 3 times in a row?
I don't think I've ever played somebody 3 times in a row. Well, last year in the first round, okay. I would say. So that would be like the one and only time.
Last year,
because you don't.
Last year, when that happened, he was part of Inter Miami, who was touted to go all the way, who was eliminated in the first round after being, I know Alex knows, up 1-0 in the series of 3. So,
did they lose in penalties in the 3rd game?
Man, I think
Sorry,
they
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I think they did.
It would just stand to figure that you would win the first game at home, drop a tough decision on the road, but feel okay about it. You come back loaded for bear. The other team plays keep away. You get to penalties. Something dumb happens along the way. Probably someone makes a mistake, and then, oops, out of there. While you look that up, let's hear from Oni Valakari and wrap up the training ground sound in advance of their plane trip up to Portland. And I hope everyone remembered their rain slickers.
Week of training, and then how you guys are taking the second matchup against Portland.
Yeah, this week we've been really focused. I think it's going to be a different kind of game now. Portland might change something, so we have to be ready for that. Whatever happens in the game, we trust our own style, our own way of play, and just be really focused from the beginning. Important to start really strong, sharp in the head also, and then take it from there.
We've seen Mikey trust you in several positions through the year. This last game, you were able to score San Diego FC's first ever playoff game. You also scored the first ever game at Snapdragon. What does that mean for you personally?
Yeah, obviously it's nice to get goals and at important moments also. But like I've always said, for me personally, doesn't matter who scores the goals, as long as we're playing good as a team and we're getting goals as a team and we're getting 3 points. So that's all that matters to me. Obviously, I'm happy if I get to contribute with goals or assists. And look forward for this next game, and hopefully I can score again.
Oni Valakari, CJ Dos Santos, Mikey Varas, your training ground sound from Singing Hills. Thanks to Tony. Thanks to SanDiego.Futbol. Watch the full interviews if you'd like at SanDiego.Futbol and catch it all. Meanwhile, on the Portland side, their head coach, Phil Neville, with some thoughts after the first match. And interested because it says in our rundown, Portland feels like they need to score 2 to 3 goals to win. Teams that try to do that against SDFC usually give up 2 to 3 goals. So I'm pretty happy to read that, to be honest. I would think Portland thought that they just needed to get to the end of 90 minutes tied in order to win.
Yeah, and it's been an interesting week with this Phil Neville character. He started, post game on Sunday with calling it the Chris Penso show. That's the head referee. He didn't feel like that the second yellow was necessary, and now he thinks that they're going to need probably 2 to 3 goals to try to win out a match here on Saturday, and we we saw them try to be on the attacking side before, and it just didn't work for them. And this isn't a team that finishes, so I don't know why they would try to get away from their true playing style to try to win this match when it didn't work. It didn't work the second time we saw the Timbers. So it's this is an interesting coach. I wouldn't feel happy going away from our playing style and try to make excuses and blame others for their shortcomings. It kind of seems like you know Timbers are just grasping at straws here, and they don't know exactly what they're doing.
Here's what he said post-match about San Diego.
Well, I mean, you know that San Diego are probably better away from home than what they are at home, so we're under no illusions about the size of the task. But what I would say is that we're going to make Providence Park one of those special types of occasions. We've got to play with more confidence a little bit from the start of the game. We've got to believe in ourselves a little bit from the start of the game and not wait until we go a goal behind. We've got to be disciplined. We've got to keep our heads. We need a very strong referee that's going to be fair to both sides. I think that is massively important because I think I'd say in the last 2 games, in 2 playoff games we've got, I don't think we've got that, and that's not an excuse. And the team need to be ready to go on Saturday, and we need to now make this a 3-game series. Playoff games are big. Playoff games are another level. It's another jump up, and I think what we saw tonight is that our team have experienced what a proper MLS playoff game is like. And they've probably walked away and thinking, I need to just do that little bit more. I need to be prepared that little bit more. I need to be ready for the start of every big game. And we've got a lot of players that are going to go to some really, really big leagues. I'm convinced of that. And if they want to go to those big leagues, they've got to be able to handle nights like tonight. And I think for the first 15 minutes, they didn't. And then after that, I thought they were absolutely magnificent. I really did. I was super proud of every single one of them after the first 15, 20 minutes. And on Saturday, we've got to make sure that we play for the full 97 minutes.
Look, I mean, you can pick that apart for, obviously taking some shots at the referee, and that's just classical stuff. That's an English football manager right there. But I'll say this in closing on my part. SDFC fans, right now, we're not taking them as seriously as we need to. They can win in the rain. We could come out and stub our toe. We could come out and for ourselves experience what an away match in MLS is for the first time and see a corner kick bent in and then a fumble from the young defense. For everything that SDFC does well, they gave up, a pair of outmanned rushes to Portland in the last match that they won. There was a chip that was wide. There was a header that went over the crossbar. Those were both potential goals. So Portland very well could win on Saturday night. And if SDFC doesn't take this match as seriously as that bloke is going to take it, he's put extra peas into his shepherd's pie this week. He is absolutely loading up. And I know he's going to have that club ready, and they're going to believe in it. And Providence Park is going to give them that belief, and the rain is going to give them that belief. So I agree with everything that's been said. Tactically, this should favor SDFC. There's nothing in the previous 3 matches that necessarily indicates an advantage materially for Portland in any of the three major phases of the match, but don't belie the task. That is what Portland's going to do, is they're going to try and make this a very difficult night. And if SDFC thinks it's going to be a walk in the park, they're going to be walking back to the plane with a winner-take-all match next weekend.
What I like about that too is that MLS then doubled down. I was like, no, we agree, and fined Forey for the double yellow card incident. They did also fine Aníbal Godoy in that for the 47th minute embellishment of a penalty. So, hey, you want to talk about fairness? The league came back, right? And I don't think that was a factor in any sense of that game. But hey, you know what? You have to kind of look for whatever you can in this playoff situation. It's do or die, at least for one of the teams. And it's not San Diego FC this next match, but hopefully they take it as such.
And speaking about Forey, yeah, he's out on Saturday for his red card. Next man up for their back line. I think I heard that Kamal Miller might have to play on the left side, and they might have to go 3 center backs in that back line too. So it's gonna look a little different. It's not gonna be the same as it was, the last couple matches. But hey, just play your game. I have a great belief in what San Diego FC is doing. They're on a 3-game road streak, winning streak, and they have a really good record on the road. So it all combines into it just looks good for San Diego FC. It just feels right. The vibes are good. I think they should be able to win this match on Saturday.
Well, either way, we'll be there afterwards with another Chromaniacs post-match live broadcast here on YouTube. So if you happen to be watching on our YouTube channel and you haven't subscribed to the Chromaniacs yet, subscribe to SanDiego.Futbol yet, please do so, because then you'll be ready and you'll know, because we don't know what time that'll happen. But when it does, you'll find out, because you'll get that notification. If you subscribe, hit the little bell, hit like as well if you enjoyed the program that we provided for you. And we'll be back next Thursday to either figure out what we're going to do for 3 weeks while we're waiting for the club to come back, or to prepare for a winner-take-all home match. So it'll be one or the other. To our accredited journalist, Tony, what can folks do to support San Diego.Futbol?
Well, check it out, SanDiego.Futbol. We're going to have news on how to support us directly for that World Cup journey, and 2 balls and a mic every Monday at 8 p.m. 301 episodes on this Monday. Check everything we do, Abe Cepeda, with the writings as well, SanDiego.Futbol. Alex?
And if anyone was waiting for the answer of what happened last year in the playoffs, Atlanta United won within regulation, within normal regular time. So
okay,
3-2. They scored late. And for me, Chromatic FC, if you want to read on GAM, TAM, and everything else that's going on this week, go hit up Chromatic FC on Substack.
Wham, bam, thank you, Tam.
Yeah.
Could be a highlight or a headline for a future Chromatic FC post, but it shouldn't be. But I mean, it could be. And for myself, you can follow me on Instagram at 619 Sports and Life. You can follow us on Instagram at the Chromaniacs. Big thanks to Terrible SDFC memes. Follow him as well for fun. As for the rest of my online endeavors, join Tony and I for season 8 of Soccer's Overtime. Episode 2 should be coming in the next couple of weeks, as the season is now inside a month. Or it kicks off. It, in fact, could kick off before SDFC season ends. And allow us to dream of that possibility, because it means MLS Cup. That's the only thing it could possibly mean is MLS Cup. So check that out. There it is, season 8, episode 1 of Soccer's Overtime, available on the SanDiego.Futbol channel. Also, Padres Hot Tub this week. We talked about things and stuff, managers and salary caps, and the types of things you talk about in the offseason. Find us on, well, there you go. Go to PadresHotTub.com and you can just find everything. Subscribing to us on YouTube, listening to Padres Hot Tub, joining our Patreon, buying merch. You can find it all. Just go to PadresHotTub.com. Last but not least, a new episode of Crossing Streams was released today, talking about Netflix's great bingy politics show, The Diplomat, with the incredibly beautiful Kerry Russell, as well as Rufus Sewell. Great show. If you want to check that out, you can find it wherever you found this show. You can find Crossing Streams and listen to episode 258 of that. And I heard if we get to 300 episodes, we'll be accredited for the Oscars. So
you get a vote.
That's
You
a
get
good
to
one.
be part of the Academy.
Yeah.
But that's that. For Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena, I'm Craig Elston. Thank you so much for supporting our show. Again, if you can give us a 5-star review on podcast, if you can give us that thumbs up on the YouTube video, we really appreciate it. We'll talk to you after Saturday's match. Until then, vamos, SDFC.